All right, let's talk about something that for most of us, we have to learn the hard way: personal finance. It's kind of like the one class in school we all desperately needed, but nobody ever offered. So consider this the official manual you never got. Let's dive in and finally figure out the rules to this game together. Now, I know this sounds a little intense, but it really nails the challenge we face today. See, the more insecure or alone we feel, the more the world tells us to buy stuff, to find ourselves in a logo or fill a void with a purchase. And when you're in an environment like that, saving money can feel like you're trying to swim upstream against a massive current. It's almost designed to be difficult. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It can absolutely feel like the deck is stacked against you. But here's the good news, and I really mean this: you can win. You just need to understand the hidden rules of the game and have a solid plan. And that's exactly what we're going to lay out for you right now. Okay, so first things first. Before we can win, we have to spot the traps. There are these invisible forces out there working against your money day in and day out. And trust me, they're not what you think they are. We spend so much time worrying about, the cost of a coffee or a subscription we forgot about. But the real enemy? It's silent. It's this slow, creeping erosion of what your money can actually buy. This invisible thief has a name. It's called inflation, and it is eating your savings alive every single day. So you hear a number on the news, right? The CPI, the official inflation rate. They'll say it's 4, 5, maybe 6%. But that number doesn't tell your story. I mean, look at the things that actually make a huge dent in your budget: education, healthcare, housing. Those costs are going up by 8, 10, even more than 10%. So the hard truth is your real personal inflation rate is probably double what you're being told. Let's just do some quick, painful math. Let's say your savings account gives you a whopping 2.5% interest. Sounds okay, right? Well, first, Uncle Sam's going to take his cut, let's say 30%. Now you're left with about 1.75%. But then you subtract your real inflation rate, let's call it 8%. So what are you left with? A negative 5.5%. Your savings account isn't a savings account. It's a shrinking machine. You are literally losing buying power every year that money just sits there. Okay, I know that was the bad news, but here's the good news. Once you see the traps, you can learn the rules to completely avoid them. And these aren't suggestions. These are the fundamental, unbreakable laws of building wealth. Okay, rule number 1, and this is a big one. A dollar in your hand today is worth way more than a dollar you get tomorrow. Why? Because that dollar you have right now, it can get to work. It can start earning interest, and then that interest starts earning its own interest. That's the magic of compounding, and it is the closest thing to a financial superpower that any of us will ever have. And rule number 2 is your secret weapon for making smart choices: ROI, return on investment. It's basically the universal language of money. It lets you compare anything: a stock, a house, a new business idea, and ask one super simple question: how hard is this going to make my money work for me? Your entire goal from now on is to find investments with an ROI that absolutely crushes your personal inflation rate. All right, so you know the rules of the game. Now, you need the right gear, the right equipment to get that ROI that beats inflation. You're going to need a financial toolkit. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Let's start with the 2 big ones: stocks and bonds. It's actually pretty simple. When you buy a stock, you own a tiny little slice of a company. You're an owner. It's a bit riskier because you're betting on the company to grow. A bond, on the other hand, is generally safer. You're basically just loaning money to a company or a government, and they promise to pay you back with interest. So just think of it as being an owner versus being a lender. And of course, the toolkit doesn't just stop there. You've got real-world things like real estate and gold. You've got index funds, which are amazing because they let you buy the entire stock market in just one click, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Look, you don't need to be an expert in all of them, but just knowing these tools exist is the first huge step to building a powerful portfolio that actually works for you. Okay, theory is great and all, but how do we actually put this stuff into practice in the real world? It really doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, here is a dead simple plan that you can literally start using today. So forget those crazy complicated spreadsheets. All you need is this: the 3-account system. Every single dollar you earn gets split into 3 buckets. Simple. First, your needs account. This is for the boring stuff: rent, bills, groceries. Second, your wants account, because you gotta live a little, right? And third, the most important one of all, the future you account. This account is your wealth building engine. And here is the secret sauce, the one thing that makes this whole system actually work. You have to automate it. Set up automatic bank transfers that happen the second your paycheck hits your account. This has nothing to do with willpower or discipline. Nope, it's about building a system that runs itself, a machine that builds your wealth in the background while you go live your life. You're not saving the money, you're letting the system do the saving for you. All right, last piece of the puzzle. We've talked about traps and rules and tools, but the most important tool you have is your mindset. Having the right strategy is totally useless without the right perspective. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. We're all looking for that hot stock tip, that crypto that's going to go to the moon, right? We want the fast way. But almost always, the fast way to get rich is actually the fastest way to become poor. Real, lasting wealth, it's built the boring way, through patience, consistency, and just letting time do its thing. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. You have to choose process over magic. Stop searching for the shortcut or the secret trick. Financial freedom isn't a lottery ticket that you might win one day. It's a house that you build, brick by brick. It's finding a simple system like that 3-account method and just sticking with it, month after month, year after year. That is the real secret. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Not what are you going to do tomorrow or next week? What are you going to do today, right now? Are you going to set up that automatic transfer? Are you going to finally open that investment account? What is the one small, concrete step you will take this very moment to start building the future you actually deserve?